So right now we are going to the top of the lighthouse. And then south of the lighthouse, we have the main city of Nazaré. And then more north, we have Praia do Norte, the biggest wave in the world.
Now here's something that you just have to see to believe.
You got to see this.
The most amazing picture that we saw in the newsroom today has got to be this.
Take a look at that surfer right there. Garrett McNamara is the fearless surfer.
The wave is 78 feet tall.
That is taller than a
7-story building.
It's the new world record.
He is riding a mountain of water off
The coast of Portugal.
Portugal.
That's in Portugal, right?
That moment made Nazaré, a small town on the coast of Portugal, home to the biggest wave ever surfed. And over the past decade, many surfers have come here to make their own attempts at a world record, even at the risk of their lives.
How can I explain it? Nazaré right now, it's the Formula One of big waves.
But for a long time, these waters weren't at the heart of an extreme sport. They were driving an entirely different culture for centuries, a culture that's changing dramatically today.
A história da Nazaré vai ser diferente daquela que era se nunca tivesse havido a onda.
Nazaré em acelerada transformação atualmente, que a história e a memória se vai apagando gradualmente.
The world had no idea that we had the biggest wave in the world here, so yeah, it's never been like this. This one is a 9.6, and it's not the biggest one I have. It's already like double size. My name is Antonio Laureano, and I'm a professional big wave surfer. What's up? I'm from here, I'm Portuguese. It's getting bigger.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm the youngest kid surfing Nazaré. Tomorrow with the energy really strong, it's going to be way more further out. And some days ago, I just won my first big wave contest in Spain.
A couple of years ago, Tony went viral for one particular wave, estimated to be 101 feet tall. But he's still waiting for the Guinness World Book of Records to make it official.
The adrenaline that we have surfing those waves is something that it's impossible to explain. Like every big wave scares me.
Ganda Tony! Oh!
A crash on the wave in Nazaré, you feel that your foot is like almost behind your head, your shoulder is on your knee, and then you stay like a long time underwater. It doesn't seem like it's too long, but when you're getting kicked by 50 guys, believe me, it's too long.
It's that extreme danger and the rush that comes with it that led to the discipline of big wave surfing 70 years ago. Big wave surfing began in Hawaii, where for a long time the sport had been limited to waves less than 10 feet. But in the 1950s, a group of daring surfers successfully rode the notorious 25-foot waves on Oahu's North Shore. That inspired many surfers to scour the globe for bigger and bigger waves, and they found them.
Jaws, Mavericks, Teahupo'o, Fiji, Australia, Mexico.
But they missed a spot, a place with the perfect conditions that could generate waves larger than anyone had ever imagined. Storms are critical to big waves around the world. When a storm moves over the ocean, its winds hit the surface, resulting in pulses of energy called swells, which eventually become waves. Some of the most powerful storms form over the Pacific and Southern Oceans, which send swells to places like Hawaii and Australia. The North Atlantic has similar storms that send powerful swells barreling towards Nazaré between October and April. And there's one on the way now.
Friday, we are going to have one swell that is supposed to be the biggest swell of the season. The swell is huge, The wind is perfect. The direction, it's like a good direction. The direction is really important because if it's the right direction, we can have the effect of the canyon.
The canyon that sits beneath the surface, just off the coast, sets Nazaré apart from every other big wave spot. It begins here, then runs for 230 kilometers, right up to Nazaré's beach. It's half the length of the Grand Canyon, but nearly 3 times as deep at its deepest point.
Costumo dizer que a Nazaré, se não tivesse o canhão, a Nazaré seria uma terra indiferente. O meu nome é Jorge Barroso, eu fui durante 20 anos presidente da Câmara da Nazaré.
So, how does this canyon lead to giant waves?
Can you give me 2 minutes?
Sure.
Portanto, mas aqui temos o canhão. A cabeça do canhão está a 300 metros da costa.
From that point here, the canyon plunges in depth remarkably quickly. Over here, the water is just 20 meters deep, but right over here, the canyon is 200 meters deep, the length of a 60-story building. This difference has a major effect on incoming swells. When a swell approaches Nazaré, it hits the canyon and gets split in two. The part in this shallow water slows down, but the part inside the canyon continues to move fast and turns inward, towards the canyon wall. When it hits that wall, it's suddenly forced upwards, resulting in a big wave. But when that coincides with the slow swell, the result is a humongous wave.
Temos aqui quase que uma tempestade perfeita de correntes, de ondas, de profundidades, de energia. É por isso que neste local é o único do mundo.
So, why did it take so long for big wave surfers to find Nazaré?
It's Portugal. Portugal is it's a small country and we don't have a big culture on big wave surfing.
But for centuries, Nazaré did have a unique culture, one that was also shaped by these waves.
Nazaré in Portugal, where the only industry is fishing.
Era uma vilazinha pacata, estás a ver? Pessoas simples, calma. Não... Na minha família é tudo pescador. Os homens andam todos ao mar, desde os tempos do meu avô e bisavô, e as mulheres são vendedoras de peixe.
Desde cá a Nazaré, cá há peixe seco. Era mais para as pessoas terem para durante o inverno comerem. Mas aqui na Nazaré, tudo o que seja de peixe foi o que sempre deu alma à Nazaré.
Fishing sustained Nazareans for generations, but it also required many to risk their lives.
Era conhecida mundialmente precisamente pela morte, pela dureza do mar.
Morria muita gente. Muita gente. As pessoas ainda vinham durante a noite e tudo, a ver se encontravam os corpos, porque sabes que as pessoas morriam no mar e podiam aparecer daqui a 6 ou 7 meses.
But despite the dangers, fishing continued to be Nazaré's main industry, until the mid-20th century, when it began a slow decline, largely because the fish populations were dwindling.
O nosso pescador era pescador ecológico e preservava-o dessa maneira, pescando ao anzol. Depois começou a aparecer, vindo de outros portos, a pesca do arrasto. Destrói tudo o que apanha pelo caminho.
Há menos peixe na pesca, há menos peixe, nota-se. Não sei se tem a ver com o aquecimento global, se é mesmo exploração, muita apanha, estás a ver? Mas nota-se.
The drop in fish populations forced Nazareans to turn to a different source of income, which came from here, Praia de Nazaré. In the summers, Nazaré's waters were calm, and this beach attracted a lot of tourists.
Também era uma desenrascadazinha, já em criança. Aqui sempre na praia. Estendia a mão e dizia o seguinte: Monsieur, mon hipopão, pour la manger, que mon papá morreu em lavato. 30, 40 vezes, às vezes que eu queria que meu pai morresse, que era para eles terem pena e darem uma moedinha à gente.
But these tourists only came in the summer, so Nazaré needed a boost in the winter. And they found it on the other side of town, Praia do Norte.
Praia do Norte era completamente proibida, absolutamente proibida para qualquer nazareno.
Forbidden because of the monstrous waves that launch out of the canyon here in the winter. But that changed in the early 2000s, when some locals who had been body surfing in these waters recognized the thrill in riding these waves, and it inspired them to look for someone who was willing to try and surf them.
Há um indivíduo que surfou uma onda, esteve à espera que caísse um glaciar para surfar a onda.
That man was Garrett McNamara. They invited him to Nazaré, and after a year of training, McNamara caught the 78-foot wave that set the world record in 2011.
I was seeing Garrett and I was like, wow.
Uau!
Um gajo meter-se ali naquelas ondas grandes, estás a ver?
Vimos que havia oportunidade, procurámos andar a aproveitar essa oportunidade.
Over the next few years, big wave surfers increasingly came to Nazaré. In 2017, Brazilian surfer Rodrigo Coxa beat McNamara's record by surfing this 80-foot wave. And in 2018, another Brazilian, Maya Gabeira, set the women's world record here on this 68-foot wave, then set it again in 2020. Today, 5 out of the 6 biggest waves ever surfed happened at Nazaré. And it's led to a rise in tourism year by year, driven by people visiting in the winter to watch big wave surfing. In less than a decade, Nazaré became the new capital of big wave surfing. But all this success has come with complications.
Isto era uma oficina, inicialmente, de fibras, instrução e reparação naval, era uma oficina de motores e emergiu esta questão do surf, tudo isso desapareceu.
This is João Delgado, a former fisherman who's now a politician.
A procura da Nazaré atualmente por parte de pessoas vindas de países estrangeiros é grande, muitas centenas de milhões de euros para adquirir casas nestes sítios, algo praticamente impensável para a média das famílias que vivem na Nazaré, onde muitas famílias mais jovens vão abandonando o território aqui da nossa comunidade. Nossa preocupação é que a Nazaré se torne num daqueles exemplos que pior definem o turismo de massa e a sua cultura se vá esvaindo, vá desaparecendo e que haja esta invasão de pessoas que vêm dos mais.
Tomorrow, here in Lighthouse, is going to be crazy. When I'm in the water, if someone does like a really good wave, you can see the crowd just getting crazy and cheering. Honestly, I feel nervous, but I feel ready and I'm confident like with the people I'm surfing, with my boards, with my surf and with my body. I just want to go out there and do the best performance possible. Como é que é, pessoal? Dia de swell, na melhor altura do dia vou surfar, fazer as minhas ondas, final da temporada e o plano é esse.
Well, we hope to see the biggest wave ever for us. It's like a natural force, like fire, that just has such a big power that it keeps you focused on it. Like it's hard to look away.
You get goosebumps. It's something really special. Yeah.
sessão por hoje acho que está feita. Aí meia hora consegui apanhar 2 ondas boas. Sometimes I feel a lot of pressure because I'm the young kid from Nazaré, you know, and surfing big waves. I'm Portuguese. I want to represent my country like the best way I can do it.
Ter aqui um jovem que nós consideramos nazareno a crescer, agarrado às grandes ondas, é para nós um motivo de orgulho muito grande. Pelas mudanças da Nazaré, não. A maior importância da nossa cultura é a capacidade de mudança. Surf e a pesca convivem na Nazaré muito bem. Armazéns de surfistas, armazéns de pescadores, vê surfistas a perguntar aos pescadores o que é que pensam do mar, se vai estar bom.
They were like the real badass, the real heroes. Because like in some giant days, they would manage to pass the waves to the middle of the sea, to fish, to make money, and to bring food home. But right now, big wave surfing is becoming a tradition. I'm part of that new tradition, you know.
A cultura nazarena nunca se perde. Não, a cultura nazarena está enraizada nas pessoas. Como é que eu ia dizer? Isso é que é o nosso património. O nosso património aqui não é o que as pessoas de fora vêm para cá fazer, é o que nós temos cá. Aquilo está dentro de ti, o mar está dentro das pessoas, não só de nós.